Good afternoon, all. I am Indu Jain, Assistant Professor, IIMT College of Science and Technology. Today, our topic of this live session is Edgar Dale Cone of Experience. First of all, we know about Edgar Dale. Who was Edgar Dale? Edgar Dale is the chief exponent of this audio-visual aids in teaching. He is the originator of the cone of experience. Edgar Dale was an American educator who developed this cone of experience, also known as learning pyramid. He developed this cone of learning experience in the year 1946, and it first appeared in his book Audiovisual Methods in Teaching in the year 1969. Here you can see this Edgar Dale cone of experience. You can see this on your screen. This cone is just like a pyramid composed of these 11 stages from concrete. This is a concrete, direct and purposeful experience is a concrete experience towards the abstract, which is at the top, and that represented by the verbal symbols. As we already discussed, Edgar Dale introduced this code of experience. All the learning experience which can be utilized for classroom teaching are shown in this cone of experience. In this cone, you can see the different separate bands for organizing instructional materials according to the kind of experience each one provides. If we go up towards the pinnacle from its base, every aid has been arranged. Aid means audio-visual aids, or we can say that the learning experience are arranged in the order of increasing abstractness or decreasing directness. Concreteness or directness means we get direct experiences by utilizing different learning experience, or we can say that in the teaching learning process, we can use different audio-visual aids. The most effective one is at the bottom of the cone, as it provides the concrete experience of learning, and those considered to be least effective at the top of this cone. Here you can see in the Edgar Dale cone of experience, the cone becomes narrow as we go towards upward. The narrowing upward shape of the cone does not imply an increasing difficulty of learning, but the basis of its classification is the degree of abstractness. Abstractness means the amount of immediate sensory participation involved. Abstract means indirect experiences. This cone also suggests the most appropriate method for teaching an abstract concept in accordance with the child's needs and abilities at a particular time. This cone also suggests the interrelation and interdependence nature of the learning experience. We can say that all the learning experiences are interrelated and interdependent on each other. Nowadays, we are talking about the integrated form of learning. So this cone also explains the utilization of integrated learning. As we can see, we already see in the cone of experience, the first level at the top of the cone of experience are the verbal symbols. At the first level or at the topmost level, we can see there are various verbal symbols. This verbal symbols are more abstract learning experience, means most indirect learning experience. Such type of learning is not very firm, not very deep, and the retention power through these types of symbols is also not very well developed. These are the most abstract or indirect learning, as we can already see. The use of any language in its written or spoken form or both. Means verbal symbols are the use of any type of language, either English, Hindi, or any other language, in which form? In written or in spoken form, or in both written and spoken form. Spoken words are more abstract than written words. It is quite true that if we listen the words, then our remembering power is or we can say that we cannot remember those words for a long duration of time. But if we read certain words with full concentration, then we can remember those words or those symbols for longer duration of time. It is said to be a very effective tool in spite of this abstractness of these verbal symbols. They are again very effective tool in teaching learning process. How? Because they are very economic in terms of time, labor, money for carrying out the communication process, whether in the classroom or in the outside world. Further, at the second level, we can see the visual symbols. These visual symbols provide more and concrete, more real and concrete experiences than those verbal symbols. These visual symbols include, as you can see here, the graphic materials like charts, maps, diagrams, sketches, posters, cartoons, photographs, blackboard drawings, and sketching. Visual symbols not use any type of language, either English, Hindi, or any other language. It comprises a universal language for communication because these symbols are in the form of the sketches. Teacher can give a running commentary or necessary explanation regarding their messages side by side in his voice or through any mechanical means like tape recorder. Or we can say that teacher can use these visual symbols effectively in the classroom situation by explaining with those symbols. As we can see, certain pictures in the very small kids, by seeing those pictures, the kids learn very effectively the as they cannot able to read or write. So visual symbols, again, very important tool to provide the learning experiences. Next one are radio and recordings. Radio and recordings provide valuable auditory experiences to the learner through certain specially arranged talks and discussions and information broadcast by the radio station. Here in radio and recordings, our ears are more involved than our eyes or any other sense organs. Various types of sound and auditory experience can be taped through tape recorder and can be played back as and when needed. The importance of such types of tools, or we can say that audiovisual aids or learning experience, are very important, as they can be played again and again when the pupil needed them. It falls in the higher category of abstract and indirect representation of the reality as compared to the previous two. At next levels, we can see the still pictures in the Edgar cone of experience. Still pictures lack motion. They are more abstract than motion pictures. Motion pictures create more interest in the learners as compared to these still pictures. Further, motion pictures are more clear to the, or we can say that the learning through the moving pictures is more concrete than these still pictures. They bring us close to the point of visual contact with the reality itself. However, these still pictures, although these still pictures do not contain motion, further they bring us very close to the point of visual contact, or they are close to the reality. Still pictures can reduce or expand the size of an object that is too small or too large to be understood visually in actual dimension. Actually, these include all the projective materials such as pictures, charts, graphs, maps, illustrations, diagrams, cartoons, posters, slides, or film strip, which can be shown with the help of any projective equipment like OHP. What is OHP? OHP is the overhead projectors. So by using OHP, we can project the learning material uh, to the students more clearly. So they are more concrete. Before three we have discussed as compared to those we have already discussed. Next one is the motion pictures. Motion pictures are much more concrete than the still pictures because they have audio and video both. So they also create interest. Just like as we see movie, we are very interested in seeing that movie, and we remember many many scenes after the movie is over, because we are interested in seeing that movie, or we can say that our concentration is increased when our eyes and ears both are involved in the teaching learning process. Basically, it is an artificial representation of the realities of the things, persons, events, or processes of the real life. Real life, that is past, present, or future. It is an alternative to direct experience and effective to realize the objectives. It is quite true. We can provide the direct experiences, or we can say that this is the alternative to direct experiences, and it is very effective too. The use of television and video recordings are included in this motion pictures. We can use television or any types of video recordings. Television provides the real events as it actually happens, whether outcome is unknown. In motion pictures lack the immediacy of the live television. Outcome is known since the events are recorded. We can avoid unnecessary and unimportant material which we not needed, and concentrate upon few selected points. Further, the next comes the exhibits. Exhibits means exhibition or excursion, or we can say that visits to certain places to get the direct experiences from that place. Basically, exhibits bring the outside world into the classroom by means of different exhibits. This is the concrete representation of the things. Concrete means direct representation. Teacher can help the students by gaining useful experience through the observation and organization of the educationally significant exhibitions. Means teacher can explain the different models or different pictures, different working models to the students so that they can clarify the purpose of that particular model or thing uh, of the particular model or thing which are present in that exhibition. Exhibits are less concrete or direct in terms of providing direct practical experiences. Uh, it is quite true. In exhibitions, we can see different types of models, different types of pictures, different types of paintings, but they are not very direct or concrete experience. They do not give the very much concrete experiences to the learners. Now, field trips. Field trips are much more better than the uh, exhibitions. Field trips are not a dramatical condition, or we can say that we go to the actual place to learn something. It is a planned visit of a place or a point outside the regular classroom. It is quite interesting too. It is an arranged situation in the form of tours, trips, excursion, and outings. Field trips provide valuable opportunities to the students for giving real life direct experiences as we go to that place which are real world. For example, if students want to know about the varieties of the plant, they can go to the any botanical garden to see the different varieties of the plant, or we can say that the diversity, uh, they can easily see the diversity of the living creatures. Further, learning many concepts, gaining useful information, knowledge, and skills, coupled with a lot of entertainment. Yes, it is quite entertaining to go or to visit a particular place to learn something. These skills related to various issues of the school curriculum. It is again uh, we uh, we should take into consideration that the trip should be related to our curriculum, not that a field trip or a visit is useless for the students. Means they learn something regarding their curriculum by these field trips. By field trips, we bring the classroom into the community and the problems of the community back into the classroom. If there is certain problem in any areas, like we can say that unhygienic condition of a particular place, we can take the students there and realize them about the situation, so so that the students uh, gain the knowledge of hygienic condition, yeah, know the importance of the hygienic condition, so that we can minimize the pollution of the earth. Further, in the next level or at 8th level, we can see the demonstration. Demonstrations are more concrete experience than the before 7 uh, levels which we have discussed. It is a visualized explanation of an important fact, idea, or process. Through demonstration, pupil can watch how certain things are done, either in the form of the actual objects or models. Certain complicated process can also be performed by the teacher for the benefit of the pupils who are reduced to the position of passive listeners. Here we can see one example. Uh, a pupil can watch how certain things are done either in the form of actual objects or models. If teachers want to explain the different words of a flower, he or she can take a real flower to the classroom, and by this real flower or by demonstrating this real flower, he can show the different words of the flower to the students very clearly. He or she can explain the different words like calyx, corolla, pistil, and stamens very clearly to the students with the help of that real flower. There are some very complicated processes which a student cannot easily understand. These complicated processes can also be explained with the help of demonstration, like certain experiment in science. Teacher can do the demonstration or can do the experiment before the students to clarify the concept behind that. Demonstration also help for the better results. Teacher, for giving the best result, teacher should try to involve the students in the demonstration. It is again very important that student can be involved in the teaching learning process to make them to create interest in them. However, this involvement is of different types, like asking questions or taking their help in the arrangement and performance of demonstration. Means while teacher demonstrate any lesson, then students remain active, not the passive listener. It is very important to get the good result by demonstration, or to fulfill our objectives, we have to involve the students in our teaching learning activities. It is quite important. At ninth level, we can see the dramatic participation. Dramatic participation means the role playing method. Students play role of a particular person about which he or she wants to study, or he or she want to gain experience. The experience gained through the active participation and role playing in dramatic activities. Okay, activities in which the real events of the past or present are presented through visual displays and role playing. Means they are those activities in which the we can present the certain events before the students through role playing. It is effective in the teaching learning of subjects like history, political science, language, and literature. It is not very good for the subjects of science or maths, but good for the art subject. Pupil who take part in dramatization gets very close to the direct experience than a pupil who watches it. But this pupil or pupils who watch this drama are again involved in the learning experiences almost directly because they gain concentration through these drama, and they are very interested in seeing that drama. Interest and concentration are two important factors for effective learning. If we want to fulfill our objectives of our teaching, then it is very important to create interest in students by using different methods. Dramatic participation is one such method. The activities can be a variety of forms. These dramatic participation activities can be of different varieties like full-length play, one-act play, puppet show, pageants. What is this pageants? Kind of community drama based on local history, dialogues, on the spot, spontaneous acting, and mock conventions. On the spot, spontaneous acting means when teacher teaches any uh, fact, suddenly he asks the students to do the uh, acting of that particular person about which the teacher want to explain at that time. This is a spontaneous acting, and this is very interesting. The students gain learning experience through their eyes, ears, and most important, feelings. Next one is contrived experiences. Contrived experiences are very close to the direct experiences. These are not very rich, concrete, and direct as real life direct experiences, but they are very close to the direct experiences. When the real thing cannot be perceived directly, contrived experiences can be provided like a working model or some laboratory experiments. Take an example of the solar system. It is not possible to bring the solar system to the classroom, but we can make a working model to explain the rotation and revolution of the planets around the sun. So those things which cannot bring to the classroom in real form, we can take or make their working models to explain the same process, fact, or object before the students. Working model is an editing of reality. Basically, working models are very close to the real objects and it only differs from the original either in the size or in complexity. If the size of the real object is very large or very small, then it is not possible to take that real object to the classroom. So in that condition, working models play an important role to explain that particular object. These contrived experiences include models, mock-ups, specimens, etc. Last but not the least, direct and purposeful experience. This is the last level, and that is, it is at the base of the cone of experience. And these are direct and purposeful experience. They are very important. These experience are gained by the students through learning by doing. These experiences have least abstractness and maximum concreteness, means direct experience. Purposeful means the experience are active with a purpose. Means these experiences are very purposeful, and these purposeful activities are very much related to the life of a particular person. Experiences gained by us in real life through our direct involvement on the first-hand basis. First-hand basis means learning by doing. We have to do something to gain learning experiences by this method. It is the best mode, means, or channels for the desired outcomes in a teaching learning process. Nowadays, our main objective of this education system is all-round development of the child. And it is only possible by the direct and purposeful experiences gained by the students through learning by doing. Teachers should always aim to provide real life practical experiences to the students in the shape of showing real objects and allowing them to come in direct contact with the realities of life on their own. So, direct and purposeful experiences gives the complete benefit to the students as they learn they gain these experiences by doing something. Uh, uh, Further, these experiences are also according to the curriculum. They should also not be useless. Now, at the last, we can again discuss the cone of experience given by the Edgar Dale. You can see in this figure, Edgar Dale cone can be divided into two parts. This is passive and active. These two parts is based on the nature of involvement of the learners. This passive means students are not very much involved in the teaching learning process. Active means students or learners can completely involved in the teaching learning process. Passive involves the verbal receiving and the visual receiving. Further, the active involves receiving or participating in the learning activities and again the learning by doing. So in passive, verbal and visual receiving, and in active, receiving or participation or doing something to gain learning experiences. You can see that in verbal receiving involves what we read or what we hear. Read means our eyes, hear means our ear. And further, what we see. See again involves the eyes. Further, you can see that what we visual receiving means what we hear and see. And participation means what we say. As you can see, participation in a discussion, giving a talk, these both are means the participation in the given event. Further, doing means doing a dramatic presentation, dramatization, simulating the real experience means contrived experiences, and doing the real things means direct and purposeful experiences. In this doing gives the answer what we both say and do. You can also see the memory power of the students or the learners or the retention power of the learners. Different retention power is gained by different activities. In Edgar Dale Cone, we can see only we can remember only 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 50% of what we hear and see, 70% of what we say, 90% of what we both say and do. By reading certain things, only 10% of the learning experience is remained in our mind. Hearing means our ears are involved in this. By hearing, only 20% of the gaining experience is remained in our mind. Seeing is much more better than just reading and hearing. By seeing, 30% of the knowledge is remained in our mind. And if we involve our two sense organ in gaining learning experience, that is our eyes and our ears, then 50% of the gaining experience or knowledge is remained in our mind. After 2 weeks, we can say that. And if we do something, or be involved in the learning process, either in the form of a drama, we can, or giving a talk, demonstration, 70% is remained in our mind, and by learning by doing, here all our sense organs are completely involved. Our sense organs are eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and our skin. In learning by doing, we involve almost all our sense organs or senses in the learning process. By eyes, we can easily see the things which are happening. By ears, we can hear. If we can taste something, then that taste is keep in our mind for a very long period of time. Further, our feelings are also involved in learning by doing process. So this Edgar Dale Cohn has the teacher to decide what appropriate and instructional resources can be used for a specific topic. As we can remember for a long duration of time what we do by our first-hand experience. So that's all about the Edgar Dale Cohn of experience. Thank you.